There are times when customers or even people in general are willing to give time to a category or a product for it to mature to see whether this will stack up against the competitor or the overall market sentiment or not. Is it the case with the mid-size SUV market in India? Absolutely not. There are companies from Korea, Japan, Germany which are dominating the market, and Honda has to admit that they are late to the party. The question is evident. Does Honda still have what it takes to achieve the impact that they created with the Honda City and have been since the last 25 years? Can Honda promise a complete package of reliability, power, handling, design, and features with the Honda Elevate? Well, that's what we are here to see today. Well, to give you an overall gist of what Honda Elevate has to offer, it comes in 4 variants starting from SV, then goes to V, VX, and then ZX. It just has one engine option, but that engine is a beauty. It gets a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated i-VTEC petrol, mated to either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed CVT. Now, for the front profile, you get a very boxy SUV design like I was expecting from the Honda Elevate. You get a big grille, which can be polarizing to some. You get a chrome strip running across from headlamp to headlamp, and you get a complete LED treatment for the headlamps, which is standard across the variant lineup. However, there are no fog lamps in this variant, but there's a skid plate design which is standard across the variant lineup. So the major thing that you miss out on if you are not taking the VX but buying the V, the fog lamps are not there. Side profile also gets a lot of differences compared to the VX, which is one up from V. You miss out on the roof rails, you miss out on the alloy wheels, which are kind of a miss, but then obviously you would have to upgrade to VX. This is a steel wheel. This is a 215/60 R16, which has wheel covers honestly, but it's not a diamond cut alloy. You get body colored ORVMs which house the turn indicators, and you get request sensors on both the sides, and the handles are body colored. For the chrome handles, you would have to upgrade to the ZX because that's restricted to the ZX variant. The good part is that at the rear there are very minor cosmetic changes across the variant lineup. So you do get LED tail lamps as standard. So the tail lamp treatment remains consistent across. You do get the badging of Elevate and i-VTEC because there is no badging for any of the variants. So on the styling front for any variants, it's a good call. You do miss out on the rear washer and wiper. You get the defogger in the V variant, and the stop lamp is housed inside just like the other variants. There is no integrated spoiler treatment. You get the rear parking camera. You also get the rear parking sensors, and this is how the tail lamp looks like when it's lit up. So you get LED treatment for the main tail lamp, but there's halogen treatment for the turn indicators and the reverse lamp, which is again standard across the lineup. But yes, that's what you get in the V variant also, and it looks complete and good overall. There are no features which makes you think that, oh, I missed out on this specific cosmetic feature in the V variant if I am not upgrading to VX, because you do get the badgings, you do get reflectors on the plastic bumper, your rear skid plate treatment is there, so it's nice. You also get the gloss black treatment to contrast it with the red. So I generally like the rear treatment on the Honda Elevate. You get 458 liters of boot space, which is class leading, and the loading lip is a little high, so that might be a problem. You also get a steel wheel because the other wheels are also steel wheels, but it's the same size. It's an R16. You also get the 60/40 split in the rear seat and the parcel tray obviously, but there's no halogen lamp, which is sort of a miss. Could have given that, very small thing to do, but still can go a long way for a customer. But enough about the exterior now, let's get into the interior. Now, opening the door, you'll realize that it has a decent weight, so that is kind of reassuring. But the first thing that you realize is that the door pad is completely plastic. There's absolutely zero usage of fabric or leather because this is all hard plastic. Even the beige treatment that you see is plastic. This plastic cutout that you see houses a tweet in the ZX variant, but it's still just a plastic cutout in the V variant, which looks very awkward. The bottle holder is adequate, decent size. And yeah, that's about it for the door pad, and this is how the rear seat looks like. Let's get into the rear seat to tell you how the experience is. The legroom is genuinely great. I am a lot comfortable because the space is really nice. There is a problem with the thigh support, could have been just a tad bit better. There is no center armrest, so obviously there are no cup holders too. You also miss out on the third headrest, and there are two adjustable headrests, so that's nice. You do get the grab handles, and there is no sunroof or panoramic sunroof on offer, so the headroom is also good. And that's not a problem in any of the variants of the Honda Elevate. You get two AC vents just like you do in the other variants and the Honda City 2, and a 12-volt socket. There are no magazine holders on offer in this variant. And again, as I mentioned, no sunroof means more headroom, according to me. Now this is how the dashboard looks like from the rear seat of the Honda Elevate V variant, and it is pretty reminiscent of the VX variant dashboard as well, but we'll come to that in just a bit. As for the overall rear seat experience, it's good. You will certainly feel that you missed out on the center armrest and maybe the magazine holders, but even if you forget the magazine holders for a second, the third headrest and the center armrest and some fabric treatment on the door could have been really nice. Actually, center armrest is not even the VX variant, so how am I to complain? Now again, similar treatment for the door. All hard plastics. There is absolutely no use of fabric or leather even in the front seats. You get a decently sized bottle holder, and that's a door handle which is sturdy enough to use. You get 4 power windows, auto up down only for the driver side window. There's only electrical adjustability. There's no electrical foldability in the V variant. You get manual adjustability for the driver side seat because there's no electrical adjustment on offer in any of the variants of the Honda Elevate. You get a proper dedicated dead pedal, and those are the levers to open the fuel lid or the bonnet. That's the traction control button and the headlight leveler. And now let's get into the cockpit of the car. You can see the engine start stop button right there. So this one does get the engine start stop button. I think that's standard across the variant lineup of the Honda Elevate. Now there are some things that you definitely miss in this variant as compared to the VX for obvious reasons. And let's start the ignition. The first thing is that you do not get the 7-inch MID and the digital treatment like you do in the VX and the ZX, but this one does the job very neatly. You get speedometer on the right and tachometer on the left, and there's a very simple small digital display at the center, and you can control the trip information and the brightness of it through the 2 buttons that I am operating right now. And you can get the simple range, the odometer, and the fuel gauge average on that small screen, and even the time. You do not get leather wrapping for the steering wheel, and there is no ADAS suite or the cruise control at all. You also miss out on the home button and the rotator for the MID, and you do get the call buttons and the volume buttons for the infotainment. There is a lever placed, so you can adjust the steering for tilt and telescopic. Oh, that's nice. And this one, being the CVT, also gets the paddle shifters, as you can see right there. There's the stock for the wiper, and that's the stock for the auto. There is an auto headlamp, sorry, and that's the gear knob for the CVT. There's the third spoke, which is not finished in silver. You get a simple black treatment for the third spoke, and this is the 8-inch infotainment system that is again same in the VX, and you do not get that in the SV. So if you want an infotainment with a 4-speaker setup, this is the variant to go for, and it's actually the biggest upgrade over the SV variant, because the most of the things you do get in the SV, but the infotainment is something which you will have to spend in order to get the V variant. The reception overall is nice. The interface is decent enough. It's still not at par with the competitors. You can change the colors and adjust the brightness of it. You can put it in day mode and night mode, which basically changes the brightness of it. And it's very simple. I would have liked if there were rotatable knobs for the volume and the track, but it's still not there. Average at best, and you can check out a detailed review of for the infotainment in the VX variant that I have done. AC vents are simple enough to use, not very fancy, and this HVAC system control for the AC. The good part is that there's climate control, which is standard across all the variants, and it reminds me of the Maruti Suzuki's heat ventilation air conditioning controls. This is all hard plastic. The dashboard depth is good, and you can see the bonnet, so that gives you a commanding position because this is an SUV. And yeah, hard plastics are a thing in the V variant because there's absolutely no soft treatment at all whatsoever. You get some space to keep your stuff, 2 USB sockets, there's no type C, 12 volt socket, 2 cup holders right there in front of the gear knob. There's no wireless charger, if I mentioned that. There's gloss black finish across the gear knob. You get manual handbrake, which does not have any chrome button. You get a center console operator with some space, and that's the glove box, which has decent space. There is no adjustability for the seat belt height. You do get 2 adjustable headrests, and the bolstering is nice. And there's obviously no sunroof, so the cabin lamp is in the center, and this is halogen treatment. You get a day-night functionality for the RVM. There's a mirror for the co-driver side sun visor, but there's no mirror for the driver's sun visor side. And yeah, that's for the features overall. You also do not get the 6 airbags because that's restricted to the ZX, and this one just gets 2 airbags as standard. Now, it still does get a lot of features like the hill start assist, isofix mounts, vehicle stability assist with electronic stability control, there's brake assist, ABS with EBD obviously, and all these safety features come as standard across the variant lineup, so that's actually a good thing. Now for the differences between the base variant and the V variant. One major update, or rather upgrade, is the touchscreen. So you do not get any touchscreen in the base variant. So the 8-inch infotainment with the Alexa connectivity and wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and Bluetooth voice commands will start from the V variant. So if you're looking for infotainment with 4 speakers, this is the variant which is minimum that you should go for. Now, as much as I know that the V variant would practically be the highest selling variant in the Indian market for the Honda Elevate, V misses out on almost all of the feel good features. It misses out on features as compared to the VX, like LED projector fog lamps. You miss out on the roof rails, the alloy wheels, the soft touch on the door pads. There are no automatic headlamps. There's no electric foldable ORVMs. You also miss out on the wireless phone charger, lane watch camera, ambient lighting, and the lovely 7-inch MID in the instrument cluster. So there are a lot of things that you actually miss out on. But the difference is also considerable. It's not a small difference between the V and the VX. I'll specifically talk about the manual 1.5 i-VTEC because that is the one that I would recommend, because i-VTECs are meant to be mated with the manual. Go for the CVTs if you actually do not like driving a manual and if it's just too inconvenient for you to drive a manual in the city. That is the only possible case where I can see you go for an i-VTEC engine mated with a CVT. But yes, talking about the price difference between the manual i-VTEC V variant, it's 12.10 lakhs for the V variant 1.5 manual as compared to the 13.5x showroom price for the VX. So there is a difference of 1.4 lakhs x showroom. It does get you a lot of things, but then on-road difference would almost be around 1.7 to 1.8 lakhs, which is a considerable amount. I understand that. So clear difference. If you want a car which does get the job done and gives you the features that you would need, but nothing that you would want, go for the V variant, hands down. There's absolutely no need for you to upgrade and spend 2 more lakhs for the feel good features. But if you actually want a feature rich car, feature rich in context of Honda, because it still misses out on a lot of features if I talk about Creta and Seltos, but specifically if you have made up your mind about Honda Elevate and are looking for features, at least go for the VX variant, if not for the ZX variant. So be ready to spend 2 more lakh rupees. So that was my take on the Honda Elevate V variant. Do let me know in the comments what do you think about this car and whether would you buy one if you had a budget of around 13 to 13.5 lakhs on road for a mid-size SUV. Subscribe to Throttle Up for more such content. Do not forget to like this video if you stayed till the very end and comment as to how do you like my content. Keep watching Throttle Up.